People we choose to be close to us are fundamental pieces in our lives. So let's choose more carefully. This is the time to look around, think carefully, and make the changes that need to be made. Because in the end, the quality of our lives is defined by the company we keep. So, are you ready for this choice? Establishing personal boundaries. Time is an increasingly valuable currency, and our energy a finite resource. Setting boundaries emerges not only as a survival strategy, but as a fundamental pillar for a fulfilling and authentic life. But what does it really mean to set personal boundaries? And more importantly, how does it help us navigate the complexities of modern life? Think of boundaries as the borders on a map, outlining the territory that is exclusively yours. Your time, your energy, your emotions. These boundaries are the invisible lines that help us define how far we're willing to go, what we're willing to accept, and where we need to say no. They are, at their essence, a declaration of self-respect and a recognition of our own worth. Without these clear boundaries, we become vulnerable to burnout, an increasingly common condition in a society that often glorifies the idea of being constantly busy. When we can't distinguish between others' demands and our own needs, we lose not only control over our lives, but also a crucial part of our identity. Establishing boundaries is therefore an act of balance, a delicate dance between giving and receiving. It's understanding that to truly care for others, we need to be at our best, and that's only possible when we take care of ourselves. It's the art of saying no when necessary, not out of selfishness, but because we recognize that by preserving our well-being, we're actually cultivating a more fertile ground for all our relationships. But how do we establish these boundaries? It starts with self-awareness, with understanding what you truly value, what drains your energy, and what nourishes it. It's a continuous process of actively listening to your own needs and learning to communicate them clearly and assertively. Imagine for a moment the feeling of freedom when setting these boundaries, of having the power to choose how, with whom, and in what you invest your time and energy. Envision the peace of mind that comes with the certainty of living a life aligned with your deepest values. Now I invite you to reflect. What boundaries do you need to establish in your life to protect your time, your energy, and your mental health? Remember, setting boundaries isn't a barrier to keep people away, but a bridge to more authentic and meaningful relationships. So how about we start drawing these boundaries today? Because in the end, the quality of your life isn't measured by the number of tasks you accomplish, but by the quality of the experiences you choose to live. Are you ready to take the reins and define the boundaries that will guide your journey? Not loving too much. You know, when we talk about love, that feeling everyone wants to feel and experience, well, love is a very beautiful thing, but there's a special way to live it that makes all the difference. The Stoics, a group of thinkers from antiquity, had some really cool ideas about this. They said that we can love a lot, yes, but in a way that leaves everyone free, without suffocating or holding anyone back. Thinking about love this way is like letting a bird fly. If we hold it too tightly, it can't be itself, it can't fly. But if we take care of it with tenderness and let it be free, it's happy, and so are we. True love, the kind the Stoics talked about, is the one that gives wings, that allows the person to be who they are, without constraints. Loving with freedom doesn't mean we love less. It's quite the opposite. It's loving in a smarter way, choosing to be together because we want to, not because we need to. It's understanding that each of us is already complete on our own, but we choose to share that completeness with someone else, without dependencies. This kind of love accepts that things change, that not everything lasts forever. But instead of being sad about it, we learn to cherish every moment, knowing that each moment together is a gift. And even if things change one day, the love that was lived leaves a good mark, a little light that never goes out. Just imagine how amazing it is to love like this, with an open heart, but without losing who we are. The Stoics wanted us to learn this, to love a lot, but in a way that keeps us firm and at peace inside. So how about we try to live love this way, choosing to be with someone not to fill a hole, but to add, to make each other's life even more beautiful. That's the invitation for today, to love in a way that liberates. Let's simplify. Imagine you're like a glass of water. If the glass is empty, how can you offer water to someone else? First, you need to fill your own glass. That's taking care of yourself. It's ensuring that you are mentally, emotionally, and physically prepared to face the challenges of daily life and to help those around you. It's not about always putting yourself ahead of others, but rather ensuring that you're not always putting yourself last. Being authentic and honest in your interactions is another pillar of this approach. Speaking the truth and being who you truly are may seem daunting. After all, what if others don't like it? But the truth is that honesty creates deeper and more meaningful connections. When you are true to yourself and to others, you build relationships based on trust and mutual respect. And that is the foundation for any healthy relationship. So, how do you put this into practice? It starts with small daily choices. Saying no when something truly doesn't align with your values, or when you simply don't have the energy to give. Allowing yourself moments of rest without feeling guilty. And when interacting with others, choosing honesty, even if it means having difficult conversations. By making these practices a habit, you will not only be taking better care of yourself, but also creating an environment where others feel encouraged to do the same. It's a domino effect of positivity, where everyone benefits. Remembering that you are important and that your health and well-being are fundamental is not selfishness, it's wisdom. It's the foundation from which you can build a rich and meaningful life, not just for yourself, but also for those around you. And that, my friends, is one of the most valuable lessons Stoicism has to teach us. If you're enjoying this, don't miss out on the opportunity. Purchase the ebook now, Stoicism in the 21st Century, Ancient Strategies for Modern Challenges, and unlock your prosperity, abundance, and improve your relationships with this ebook. Link in the pinned comment. Embracing adversity and finding strength in challenges. Embracing adversity and finding strength in challenges is a powerful idea that invites us to see life in a different way. We know that life is not a bed of roses. It comes with its share of storms and mountains to climb. However, it is precisely in facing these obstacles that we find our greatest lessons and opportunities to grow. Think about it. Each challenge that arises is like a unique test for our inner strength and our ability to adapt. When a problem appears in front of us, we have two choices: to retreat and feel defeated, or to face it head-on, using it as a springboard for our personal development. Stoic philosophy, rich in ancient wisdom, encourages us to choose the latter option. Imagine for a moment that each difficulty is a question that life asks us. What can you learn from this? By embracing our problems with this mindset, we transform obstacles into opportunities. Every adversity becomes a moment of learning, every challenge a chance to demonstrate our resilience. But how do we do this in practice? It starts with acceptance. Accepting that life will have challenges is the first step to overcoming them. This does not mean liking or wishing for these situations, but rather recognizing that they are part of our journey. However,
in more than a third of fires in the home, smoke did not reach an alarm in time.
Emotions. We've been taught that
They're a necessary part of life, that to be fully human means to experience joy, sadness, anger, frustration, and while emotions can add depth to your life, they can also lead to destruction when unchecked. Your body, not your mind. When life hits you hard, your mind can become a battlefield of negative thoughts. You start to overanalyze, replay scenarios, and spiral into emotional chaos. Here's where most people go wrong. They try to fight their mind with their mind. But what if you didn't have to? What if instead you focused on controlling your body first? Let me explain. Your emotions are deeply connected to your physical state. When you're anxious or angry, your body tenses up, your breathing becomes shallow, your muscles tighten. Instead of focusing on calming your mind, work on calming your body. Take a deep breath. Seriously. Right now, take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Notice how your body relaxes a little. That's the trick. Start with your body. Relax your muscles, focus on your breathing, or even go for a quick workout to release tension. Once your body is calm, your mind will naturally follow. It's a simple yet highly effective way to stop emotions from taking control. For example, when you're in a stressful argument or facing an unfair situation, instead of letting anger rise uncontrollably, take a step back. Take a few deep breaths, roll your shoulders, and stretch. It breaks the emotional buildup, and suddenly, the situation doesn't feel as overwhelming as it did moments ago.
Connor, show James how we do things here.
What's the show? These days, we have ways to see things.
Look at yourself in the mirror. Now this might sound odd, but bear with me. Sometimes when life feels completely unfair, the person you need to confront is yourself. And what better way to do that than literally standing in front of a mirror? Imagine this. You're in the middle of an emotional breakdown. Maybe you just got some bad news, and it feels like the world is crashing down on you. In that moment, walk over to the nearest mirror and look at yourself. Yes, really look. What do you see? A person being overrun by their emotions, or someone who still has control deep down? The mirror doesn't lie. When you're in that emotionally charged state, facing yourself can be one of the most powerful ways to regain control. It forces you to step outside of the situation and realize that the emotions you're feeling are just that, feelings. They don't define you. You control your reaction to them. When you see yourself from an external perspective, it's a powerful reminder that you're in control. This exercise might feel strange at first, but give it a try. When emotions are flooding you, a hard, honest look at yourself can break that cycle. Distract yourself. Let's talk about distraction. We often hear the advice, you need to face your emotions head on. But here's the reality. Sometimes the best thing you can do when life is unfair and emotions are running high is to distract yourself. Now, I'm not saying you should ignore your emotions forever, but in the heat of the moment, when you're spiraling, distraction can save you from diving deeper into an emotional black hole. And here's the key. Distract yourself productively. Instead of ruminating on what's unfair, channel that energy into something else. Something that improves you. Pick up a new hobby, dive into work, or start a physical activity. For instance, if you've just had a fight with a friend or partner and
The world doesn't respect soft energy. It respects cold control. Stop reacting. Every time you react, you give someone else control. Cold men don't flinch.
They observe. They calculate. They strike when it matters, not when it's loud. Don't chase impulse. You lead with logic. Step 2. Detach from praise and hate. Likes, applause, opinions, they mean nothing. If you rise when praised, you'll fall when hated. Stay level. Both love and hate are distractions. Your mission is above both. Step 3. Discipline your emotions. Anger is loud, so is fear. But power? Power is silent. You feel the fire, but you don't show the flame. That's cold. That's control. Step 4. Move with precision. Every move, sharp. Every word, intentional. There's no maybe. No wasted motion. Cold men move like blades. Clean, exact, unstoppable. Step 5. Choose purpose over people. Comfort makes you soft. Attachment makes you weak. Ice forms where comfort melts. You'll lose people, but you'll find yourself. And that's the only person you need to answer to. They feel too much. You feel enough to stay dangerous. Follow for more or melt with the rest. The world.
Cross my heart and hope to die. Welcome to my dark side.
How do you remove the emotion? Because that's the hard part. I want to tell you guys a story. When I was younger, I used to do martial arts. We used to go in these camps. I'll never forget this specific place we went to for these training camps. Never had hot water. It just seemed to me such like a basic thing. And now I'm old enough that I can start asking some questions. Can you just explain to me, why do we keep coming to this place when they don't have hot water running out of the taps? And he said to me, no, they do have hot running water. We just tell them to turn it off every time we come here. And I'm like, hold on, y'all did that on purpose? Yeah, that's on purpose. Why would you do that? He was like, if you can convince the body to get into a cold shower first thing in the morning, and the body wants to scream and run out of there, and your brain says to your body, I'm in charge, you're going to listen to me. You set up for the rest of the day what's going to happen. The first part of learning how to make database decisions is learning to divorce emotion from the facts. Training your mind to conquer your body is a fundamental part of the growth process. They need you to be driven by facts, not feelings. How do you remove the I swap this for this. I stop.
The Art of Detachment, 10 Habits to Become Cold. If you're watching this video, then you're probably interested in learning how to become a stoic and cold individual. Someone who's always in control and never attached to anything or anyone. So, what separates them from the rest of the pack? How do they become so emotionally detached and self-reliant? In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 simple steps that will guide you on your journey to becoming cold. Step 1. Talk less. To become cold, you need to be perceptive and aware. The only way for you to do this is by listening rather than speaking and observing quietly. Step 2. Develop a strong mindset. A cold mindset is characterized by independence, self-reliance, and resilience. It's about being able to handle any challenge that comes your way without losing your cool. To develop a strong mindset, you need to practice self-discipline, mindfulness, and positive self-talk. Step 3. Learn to say no. One of the key traits of a cold individual is their ability to say no. They don't let others dictate their actions or decisions. They're not afraid to walk away from situations that don't align with their values or goals. Learning to say no will give you the freedom to live life on your own terms. Step 4. Embrace solitude. A cold person is comfortable with solitude. They don't need others to feel happy or fulfilled. They enjoy their own company and can entertain themselves. Embrace solitude by trying new activities alone and enjoying your own thoughts. Step 5. Practice non-attachment. To become cold, you need to practice non-attachment. Don't get too caught up in material possessions or relationships. Learn to let go of things that don't serve you and focus on what truly matters. Step 6. Set boundaries. A cold person sets clear boundaries with others. They know what they're willing to tolerate and what they're not. Set boundaries by communicating your needs and expectations clearly with others. Step 7. Be self-sufficient. A cold person is self-sufficient. They don't rely on others for their basic needs or emotional support. Be self-sufficient by learning new skills and taking care of yourself. Step 8. Don't waste time on drama. One of the biggest time wasters in life is drama. A cold person doesn't get caught up in other people's drama or create their own. Don't waste time on drama by avoiding toxic people and situations. Step 9. Keep your emotions in check. A cold person doesn't let their emotions control them. They're able to keep their emotions in check and stay calm under pressure. Practice emotional regulation by taking deep breaths and staying present. Step 10. Embrace pain. Learn to embrace pain and difficulty. Understand that you will come out of it stronger and more confident than before. That's it for this video. If you want to learn more about Stoicism.
Have you ever faced a door slammed shut in your face, only to find it was the best thing that could have happened to you? Well, today we're diving deep into the art of turning the tables on rejection, inspired by none other than the Stoic philosopher, Marcus Aurelius. Imagine you're in a world where every no doesn't push you down, but propels you forward. Rejection, a word that often brings a sting, can become your stepping stone to greatness. It's not about tricking fate, but understanding that sometimes the universe's no is a hidden yes to something greater. So, are you feeling overlooked, ignored, or undervalued? It's time to flip the script. In this video, we'll unpack 13 powerful lessons that teach you to harness the power of rejection. We're not just talking theory. These are practical, real-world strategies that you can apply in your daily life. Before we jump in, let's make sure this wisdom reaches as many as possible. Hit that like button and ring the notification bell. It tells YouTube you're finding value in what we're sharing. Now, let's get started on this transformative journey together. Ready to turn your rejections into your greatest victories? Number 1. Ignore them too. When life hands you the cold shoulder of indifference, don't shrink back, rise above it. Ignoring those who ignore you isn't petty. It's a powerful statement of your self-worth. Imagine this. Someone decides you're not worth their time. That's their loss, not yours. By choosing not to engage, you're saying, I am worth more. It's like turning a mirror towards them, silently reflecting their behavior and showing them you're unaffected. Now, how do you do this without losing yourself in bitterness? Simple. Focus on your life, your goals, your happiness. Dive into activities that enrich you, be it reading, sports, learning a new skill, or just enjoying the company of those who do value you. This isn't about getting back at someone. It's about reclaiming your energy and investing it where it matters.
Making an effort. That's what makes it Christmas.
Try Corsadil.
Gum strengthen and protect.
Sometimes it stings when someone ignores us, but instead of dwelling in that pain, use it as a catalyst for growth. Build a fortress of self-respect and let their indifference bounce off it. You're not just surviving their rejection, you're thriving despite it. This approach doesn't just show emotional maturity, it's a testament to your inner strength. Remember, your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. Stay true to yourself and let your actions speak louder than their silence. 2. Don't react emotionally. Rejection can sting, making you want to react, to let your emotions run wild. But here's a secret weapon from the Stoic playbook: calmness. When someone brushes you off, it's tempting to let frustration or sadness take the driver's seat. Stoicism, a philosophy as relevant today as it was in ancient Greece, offers a different path. It suggests embracing a composed, thoughtful response. This isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about not letting them control you. When you're ignored, instead of getting upset or seeking validation, take a step back. Ask yourself, why is this bothering me? Often it's not the rejection itself, but our own insecurities that hurt us the most. Here is where we need to get practical. You're being ignored. Breathe. Reflect on why this moment isn't defining you. It's just that a moment. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our actions and responses, not on others' behavior. So stay polite, stay kind. If you feel like reaching out, do so with genuine concern, not expectation. This approach isn't about being passive. It's about being master of your emotions. It's recognizing that your self-worth isn't tied to others' approval. Your power lies in how you respond, not in how others treat you. That's a game changer. Adopting this mindset isn't easy, but it's transformative. When you master calmness in the face of rejection, you're not just handling a tough situation, you're growing. You're learning that your inner peace doesn't depend on external validation. It's a journey towards self-confidence, where you learn to value yourself independently. By doing this, you show real strength and resilience. And guess what? That's incredibly attractive. People are drawn to those who are self-assured, those who don't crumble at the first sign of indifference. So by staying calm, you're not just coping, you're thriving. You're becoming someone who can face rejection and turn it into a stepping stone for personal growth. That's the Stoic way. 3. Remove them from your mind. When faced with rejection, harnessing the art of detachment becomes a powerful tool in your arsenal. This isn't about forgetting or pretending the rejection didn't sting. It's about channeling that experience into something transformative. Start by acknowledging the rejection. Feel its impact, but don't let it anchor your thoughts. Like a skilled sailor navigating rough seas, use the waves to steer you forward, not to capsize your boat. Transforming rejection requires a shift in perspective. Picture rejection not as a roadblock, but as a detour sign, guiding you towards new paths and possibilities. Explore activities that enrich your spirit and broaden your horizons. Dive into a book that challenges your thinking. Take up a sport that tests your limits, or volunteer in a community project that offers a fresh perspective. These aren't just distractions. They are stepping stones to self-discovery and growth. Every new experience carves out a part of you, making you more resilient, more adaptable. Also, cultivate a circle of positivity. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. In their company, share your aspirations and listen to theirs. Such interactions create an environment where mutual growth thrives. Remember, rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It's an invitation to rediscover and reinvent yourself. As you navigate this journey, you'll find that what once seemed like a painful rejection was, in fact, a nudge towards a more fulfilling path. 4. Demonstrate your value. Rejection stings, but it's also a litmus test for your resilience. Instead of wilting under its weight, view it as a chance to reveal your grit. Next time you're sidestepped in a meeting or overlooked for a promotion, take a breath. Instead of brewing a storm of self-pity or bitterness, channel that energy into constructive action. Work on a project that highlights your skills or offer to lead a new initiative. Your value isn't diminished by others' oversight. It's an opportunity to shine brighter, undeterred by the shadows of dismissal. Remember that old saying, when one door closes, another opens. That's not just idle chatter. It's a blueprint for action. Rejection isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a redirection to where you're needed more. If you're passed over for a role, Maybe it's the universe nudging you towards something that aligns better with your talents and passions. Use this as a catalyst to reassess and realign. What are your core strengths? How can you pivot to make the most of them? It's about creating your success story, one where every setback is a setup for a comeback. This isn't about plastering a smile over disappointment. It's about embracing the full spectrum of emotions and then moving forward with grace. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our actions and reactions. When faced with rejection, practice empathy, both for yourself and others. Maybe that colleague who overlooked you is battling their own insecurities. Extend understanding, not as a weakness, but as a testament to your strength. Grow from these experiences, reflect on them, learn, and then, like a phoenix, rise from the ashes of rejection, more formidable and wise than before. Rejection, therefore, isn't the end of your story. It's a twist in the plot, pushing you towards becoming the most authentic, resilient version of yourself. Face it head on, with the wisdom of the ages and the vitality of youth, and watch as it transforms from your biggest fear to your greatest ally in personal growth and success. Yes. 5. Cut off contact. Silence isn't just the absence of sound. It's a powerful tool in your emotional toolkit, especially when dealing with rejection. Imagine you've been ignored or turned down. Your instinct might scream to fix it, to reach out, to bridge that gap. But here's where you flip the script. Embrace silence. It's not about playing games. It's about regaining your power. When you choose not to react, not to bombard with messages or calls, you're taking a step back. This pause isn't just for them. It's for you to recalibrate. To remember your worth isn't tied to someone's approval. Let's dig deeper. This silence isn't passive, it's active and strategic. You're not just waiting, you're reflecting and growing. It's a time to refocus on your goals, your passions, your life. Think of it as a reset button, giving you clarity and strength. This period of no contact isn't cold or unkind. It's a boundary you set for your mental peace. It's saying, I respect myself too much to chase or beg. This mindset isn't just stoic, it's empowering. It speaks volumes about your self-worth and confidence. Ultimately, consider the silent message you're sending. In a world where instant responses are expected, your silence can be intriguing, even attractive. It shows you're not easily shaken, that you have a life full of interests and priorities beyond this rejection. It's not about making them regret or come back crawling. It's about showing you're solid, centered, and not easily swayed by external validation. This approach doesn't guarantee a change in their behavior, but it ensures a change in yours, making you stronger, more centered, and ready to face whatever comes next with grace and poise. 6. Prove them wrong. The art of using rejection isn't simply about proving others wrong, but proving to yourself what you're truly capable of. It's about transforming no into your fuel for growth. Let's say someone doubts your abilities in a specific skill or task. Here's your chance to sharpen that skill, not for their approval, but to surpass your own limits. Dive deep into learning, practice relentlessly, and show up with a level of proficiency that even you didn't know you had. This isn't about a grand reveal to the doubters. It's about quietly building a fortress of competence and self-assurance. Now, imagine the impact of your actions rather than words. You don't need to announce your plans or progress. Let your results speak. If you're deemed as uncreative, embark on a project that showcases your creativity. If labeled as uncommitted, Let your consistent actions be your response. This silent revolution of self-improvement isn't a battle against others' perceptions, but a crusade for personal excellence. And when you change, the world's narrative about you shifts too. The true essence of proving them wrong lies not in changing their opinions, but in transforming your own self-image. Your journey of self-improvement will not only surprise others, but also redefine your understanding of your capabilities. This isn't just about proving them wrong. It's about redefining what right means to you. And in this journey, the greatest victory is the realization that the only validation that truly matters is the one you give yourself. 7. Go out and have fun. Life's true essence shines brightest when we step outside our comfort zones. Embracing joy isn't just about having fun, it's a strategic move to build resilience. When faced with rejection, the typical reaction is to withdraw, to stew in the sourness of the experience. But here's a twist. Counter that instinct by deliberately seeking out joy. This isn't about ignoring your feelings, it's about giving them a new playground. Whether it's exploring a new hobby or revisiting an old passion, the act itself becomes a statement of defiance against the weight of rejection. Humans are social creatures, and there's immense power in shared experiences. In your journey to leverage rejection, remember the value of your tribe. Invite friends for a hike, join a community art project, or simply share a meal. These moments of connection do more than just uplift your spirits. They reaffirm your place in the tapestry of human interaction. Each laugh shared, each story exchanged, is a subtle reminder that you are more than the sum of your setbacks. You're part of a larger narrative, one that thrives on connection and shared resilience. Here's where the real magic happens. Step into the unknown. Rejection can feel like a closed door, but in reality, it opens many more. Try a cuisine you've never tasted, visit a neighborhood you've never explored, or attend a workshop on a topic foreign to you. These experiences are not just distractions, they're opportunities for growth. Each new experience adds layers to your character, making you more adaptable, more empathetic, and more equipped to handle life's curveballs. Remember, the goal isn't to forget the rejection, but to grow from it, turning every no into a stepping stone towards a richer, more vibrant life. 8. Build your social status. Imagine you're in a room, ignored, almost invisible. Here lies your hidden opportunity. Stoicism teaches us to turn such moments of rejection into catalysts for personal growth. Instead of seeking validation, focus on self-enhancement and community involvement. This isn't about climbing a social ladder. It's about climbing your own ladder of self-development. Activities like physical fitness, exploring hobbies, or advancing in your career aren't just tasks. They are your tools to carve out a stronger, more resilient self. Think about sharing your journey, not for applause but for connection. When you talk about your interests or achievements, let it be a bridge to find others who resonate with your story. This isn't a strategy to gather followers, but a sincere attempt to find like-minded souls. By engaging in volunteering or networking, you're not just adding lines to your resume, you're weaving a tapestry of meaningful relationships. This approach is deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, where personal growth and contributing to the greater good are intertwined. In building your social status, the intention is paramount. It's not a quest for popularity, it's a journey towards becoming a better version of yourself. Every step you take should be a step towards improvement, with a ripple effect that enhances the community. This perspective shift is crucial. It's not about being seen, it's about seeing yourself grow and, in turn, helping others grow. This Stoic mindset is a powerful tool in navigating the modern world, turning the tide of rejection into a powerful wave of positive transformation.
Your teeth look like this, but you want them to look like this? Then stop what you're doing, because only in the next few days, Impress is offering a total discount of £1,000 on your perfect smile. For the next few days.
Stress often appears as a tightening in the chest or a heaviness in the mind, but its true roots lie much deeper. It begins when the mind wanders away from what is real and becomes trapped in stories of fear, control, or longing. When we believe these stories without question, the pressure grows, and we feel as if life is pulling us in many directions at once. Yet stress itself is not an enemy. It is a messenger pointing gently toward the places within us that are unsettled. When the mind clings to expectations, it becomes tangled. We imagine the future and try to hold it still. We replay the past and try to make it different. In doing so, we stretch our hearts beyond what they can carry. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from this grasping, from this refusal to meet life as it is. Stress is the immediate echo of that resistance. To understand it, we must pause and listen carefully, not trying to silence it, but trying to hear what it reveals. Often, stress grows because we measure ourselves against standards that were never ours to begin with. We compare our lives to the lives of others, forgetting that each person walks a different path. The mind becomes noisy, filled with judgments and doubts. But beneath all of that noise is a quieter truth. The present moment is still whole. Nothing is missing in this breath. Nothing demands perfection. In seeing this, the grip of stress begins to loosen. Understanding stress is not about eliminating it. It is about recognizing how it forms, how it tightens, and how it softens when met with awareness. When we learn to see its origin, we also learn to walk with more clarity, allowing the mind to rest in its natural openness. Stress grows strongest when the mind forgets where the body is. It runs ahead into imagined futures or sinks into unfinished memories, leaving the present moment abandoned. But the present is the only place where life truly unfolds. When we return to it, even briefly, the weight we carry begins to shift. The breath becomes a gateway. Each inhale invites us back. Each exhale releases what the mind holds too tightly. In this simple rhythm, the scattered pieces of our attention gather again. The art of returning does not require special techniques. It asks only for sincerity. Living beings with tender hearts, changing emotions, and fluctuating energy. When we forget this, pressure feels unbearable, but when we remember our softness, the burden lightens. Instead of asking, "Why am I struggling?" we ask, "What in me needs kindness right now?" This shift opens a space where stress can loosen its grip. Many people think compassion makes them weaker, but the opposite is true. Compassion gives us the strength to face difficulty without collapsing under it. When we speak to ourselves with gentleness, the heart becomes steadier. The mind becomes clearer. From this clarity, wiser choices emerge. We see what must be done, what can be released, and what was never ours to carry. Pressure becomes a teacher, not a threat. Meeting pressure with compassion also changes how we relate to others. When we understand our own struggles, we stop expecting perfection from those around us. We become more patient with their mistakes, more accepting of their limits. Stress often grows in relationships where understanding is absent. But when compassion enters, connection strengthens. The atmosphere softens. Conversations become easier. Even shared burdens feel lighter. Compassion is not an escape from responsibility.
Have you ever wished to be someone who is unshakable? Someone who doesn't care about criticism, rejection, loss, or betrayal? Have you ever dreamed of the day when you will finally stop feeling that silent pain, that anguish that eats you up inside, even when you pretend to be fine on the outside? Maybe you're tired of trying to please everyone, of maintaining an image that requires strength all the time, when in reality, all you wanted was to rest, just for a moment, from the pressure of being untouchable. But let me tell you something that perhaps no one has had the courage to say. As long as you try to avoid pain, it will continue to control you. As long as you try to numb yourself, to protect yourself, to hide, you will remain a hostage to everything that happens around you, to the words that hurt you, to the actions that disappoint you, to the silences that kill you inside. And this is not weakness. This is the reality for most people. The difference is that some pretend better than others. Carl Jung, one of the greatest names in depth psychology, said that we are not what happens to us, but what we choose to become. And that's where the key lies. It's not about shielding yourself from the world. It's not about becoming cold, indifferent, or untouchable. It's about integrating. It's about bringing to light everything that currently affects you in the dark. Because true strength is not the absence of pain, but the full awareness of who you are, even when you are bleeding. If you've made it this far, it's not by chance. This video is for you who are tired of hurting yourself with everything and everyone. It's for you who feel that you are always at an emotional disadvantage, as if other people have a power over you that you don't understand. I want to show you that it doesn't have to be this way, but for that, you will have to face some truths that may hurt. And perhaps, for the first time, this pain will set you free. Let's get started. You believe that what hurts you is out there, in the actions of others, in poorly chosen words, in the abandonments you have suffered, in the betrayals you did not expect. But the truth is brutal. None of this really has the power to hurt you, unless there is already an open wound inside you. What hurts you is not what others do to you. It is what these experiences activate within you. It is the story you tell yourself about it. It is the old trauma that has never been addressed. It is the emptiness you disguise with strength, with pride, with that desperate need to seem well-adjusted. Jung shows us that the pain we feel in the face of the external world is merely a reflection of what has not yet been integrated into our internal world. That is why some people can go through devastating situations and still maintain clarity, while others crumble in the face of a simple comment. It is not about what happens, it is about where it hits you. And here comes an uncomfortable truth. You still suffer so much because on some level, you believe you can control how the world should treat you. You are still trying to be good enough, smart enough, strong enough, understanding enough, as if that guarantees that no one will hurt you. But control is an illusion, and as long as you cling to it, you live in constant tension, trying to predict the unpredictable, trying to avoid the inevitable. Do you want to stop suffering? Then stop protecting yourself from suffering. What you need is not more control, but more awareness. As long as you believe that people need to change for you to stop feeling pain, you will remain enslaved by the actions of others. Your freedom begins the moment you understand that everything that comes from outside only has power if it finds an echo within you. And this is exactly where the true battlefield lies, the unconscious. What you do not see, do not understand, and do not master, masters you. And this is what we will explore in the next part. Get ready to dive one level deeper, because that is where true transformation begins. If this content is making sense to you, click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. The biggest lie you've been told is that you are in control of your life. Wake up, because you're not. At least, not as long as you continue living on autopilot, reacting without knowing why, feeling without understanding where it comes from, making decisions that you later sabotage. Carl Jung made this clear when he said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." And that is exactly what is happening. Corroding. Because the problem was never about feeling, the problem is not knowing what you are feeling and why. And this only happens to those who do not yet know themselves. Jung was precise when he stated, "Know all the theories, master all the techniques, but when touching a human soul, be just another human soul." And that human soul you insist on hiding behind a strong, invulnerable, controlled character. It is screaming to be seen. Becoming emotionally strong has nothing to do with being cold. It has nothing to do with ignoring pain, avoiding conflict, or pretending not to care. It has to do with integrating, with accepting, with bringing to light everything you have buried in the dark. You do not become untouchable by creating a barrier between yourself and the world. You become untouchable when you realize that no one can touch what has already been embraced within you. When you integrate your shadows, your fears, your flaws, your insecurities, you stop reacting to everything. You observe, you choose. You are no longer an emotional puppet, and that is true freedom. Jung called this individuation, the process of becoming who you really are. Not what others expect of you, not what you thought you should be to be accepted, but what emerges from within, from the meeting of light and shadow, between ego and unconscious. Individuation is not a process of perfection, Jung said, but of integration. You do not need to become a better person. You just need to become whole. And here is the secret that no one told you. The more you run from pain, the more it chases you. The more you try not to be affected, the more fragile you become. But when you face your own wounds, when you accept who you are, with all that is beautiful and ugly, noble and shameful, nothing outside has the power to dismantle you. However, this path requires courage. Courage to look within. Courage to abandon the masks. Courage to feel. Because it is precisely in pain that the key to transformation is hidden. And that is what we will discover in the next part. How suffering, far from being an enemy, can become the gateway to your true strength. Let's dive deeper.
Around the world, children's lives are being torn apart by war. No child.
And this time, without fear. You learned to hate pain. Since you were little, you were taught that suffering is a sign of weakness, that crying is a waste of time, that feeling too much makes you vulnerable, and so you began to run, to avoid, to deny. But the more you flee from suffering, the more it chases you. And the worst part, it changes form. It disguises itself as anxiety, anger, apathy, boredom, self-destructive impulses that you don't even understand where they come from. Ignored pain does not disappear. It just digs tunnels inside you until one day, without warning, everything collapses. Jung saw suffering in a completely different way. He believed that pain was the messenger of the soul, the alarm of the unconscious, the language that the self, what you are in your entirety, uses to get your attention. He said, "Depression is like a lady in black. If she appears, don't push her away. Invite her to sit down, offer her a coffee, and listen to what she has to say. But you don't listen. You silence yourself, distract yourself, keep yourself busy, numb yourself. You do everything to avoid looking at what really matters. What is this pain trying to show you? The truth is that suffering only hurts so much because you are still at war with yourself. There is still a part of you wanting to grow, and another part wanting to keep everything as it is. There is something inside you that cries out for transformation, but your ego, accustomed to control, tries to suffocate that call. And it is in this friction that pain is born. Because change hurts, growth hurts, letting go of old beliefs, cutting toxic ties, allowing what no longer serves you to die. All of this is a mourning, an internal process of death and rebirth. But it is precisely in this space of ruin that something new can be born. Because when everything in you is deconstructed, when certainties crumble, when pain lays bare your vulnerability, you can finally see who you really are without the layers of protection, without the performance, without the mask. And at that exact point, suffering becomes sacred. Because it brings you to your knees before the only thing that can set you free, yourself. Jung knew this. He understood that suffering is not a failure of the system. It is part of the process. Pain is not the end of the road. It is the beginning of the journey towards individuation. The problem is that most people give up before crossing that dark valley. They flee. As a integration of all your parts into a center of consciousness that remains unshaken in the face of storms. You may feel pain, but it does not break you. You may be hurt, but you do not lose yourself, because you have stopped being reactive and have become whole. You have stopped living on the surface and have begun to inhabit the depths. However, this depth comes at a price: loneliness. Not because you will be alone, but because few people can accompany you on this journey. Most are still trapped on the surface in masks, in the fear of feeling. And when you begin to free yourself, you inevitably distance yourself. But this distancing is not rejection. It is maturation. You do not distance yourself out of pride. You distance yourself because you no longer fit where you once hid. And this brings us to the final point of this journey. Consciousness as a shield. Because it is not strength that protects you. It is clarity. This is what we will discuss in the last part. Consciousness as the only state in which nothing, absolutely nothing, has more power over you. Let's finish this crossing together. World and against yourself. But now you know. True emotional immunity is not hardness, it is clarity. It is not about creating armor, it is about expanding your awareness. Because when you understand your triggers, your patterns, your wounds, the actions of others lose the power to destroy you. You still feel, but you don't drown. You still suffer, but you don't lose yourself. And that changes everything. What shields you is not protecting yourself from life. It is diving into it deeply. Those who live on the surface get hurt by any wave. Those who dive know that there is silence, stability, and power down below. And that is where you're headed. And when you start to live from that place of integration, presence, acceptance, the world may try to knock you down, but it no longer finds where to hit you. If this video touched you in some way, if something within you has awakened, write here in the comments, I choose awareness. Let's start a movement of people who no longer want to survive by pretending to be strong, but to live with truth. And don't forget, the next video is also part of this journey. It's important. You need to keep going. Real transformation only begins when you don't stop at the first step.